Good morning, everyone. This time, I'd like to have Jeff, if you lead us in prayer.
Let us pray. Dear God, we pause at this time, Lord, to lift you up and thank you for this new year you've given us. Father, we just pray that your blessing will spread among us as we seek out this new year and try to do all the good serving your people that we can. Lord, I ask your blessings on this meeting and our entire department and state of Georgia. In Christ's name, I lift this up. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everyone. It's a nice summer morning, nice and warm outside. Might bring your coat tomorrow, though. I think it's going to get worse. I would like to, at this time, to call on Ms. Key, if she would introduce Mr. Ricky Smith.
Good morning, all. It's my distinct honor to introduce Mr. Ricky Smith, General Manager of Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, the world's busiest airport. He assumed his new role April 2025, and I'm delighted to welcome him here today to the State Transportation Board. With more than 3 decades of aviation and transportation leadership, Mr. Smith brings a proven record of operational excellence, innovation, and economic impact. And we are already seeing the proof of that in his exceptional management and oversight of Hartsfield-Jackson. Prior to joining ATL, he served as the Executive Director and CEO of the Maryland Aviation Administration, where he oversaw the Baltimore-Washington International Thurgood Marshall Airport through 5 consecutive record-setting years for passenger traffic and led initiatives focused on safety, performance, and customer experience, including the nationally recognized Launchpad program supporting small and disadvantaged businesses. As we all know, our airport is a world-renowned model for efficiency and global connectivity and is a cornerstone of Georgia's transportation network. And we could not be possibly in better hands than to have Mr. Smith at the helm. With that, please join me in welcoming Ricky Smith.
Good morning. Chairman Boswell, thank you so much for this opportunity to introduce myself. I don't know which sounds younger, 3 decades or 35 years. I really don't. But thanks for that introduction, Stacy. And I got to acknowledge, perhaps embarrass my good friend Russell. He was one of the first connections I made when it was announced that I was coming here. He and I have a common special friend who's the former Secretary of Transportation for MDOT, and Paul, who's at the ready to always help me whatever I need from GDOT. So thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm not going to go into a lot of introduction myself because Stacy did that. Just to say that it is truly an honor to be here, leading the busiest and most efficient airport in the world. I would always get picked at by my colleagues because I would not waste an opportunity to, to admonish my predecessors for always saying that Atlanta is the busiest and most efficient airport in the world. And now I can't find myself not saying in front of a microphone, but it's truly an honor to serve this public in this role. We have an amazing team at the airport, and that is necessary because it is such an important element of not just the city, but the state, but the entire region. It is the largest employer, as you know, in the region, and its economic impact on the region is unmatched by any other airport in the country, if not the world. And so to have the amazing team that we have is, goes a long way in restoring to the public confidence that your gym is in good hands. I do have some familiarity with what you have to deal with. I also served as the Deputy Administrator for the Maryland State Highway Administration for 2 years. And so I have a strong appreciation for the nexus between what you do, particularly in terms of highways. I know you have more responsibility in these highways, and the airport. You know, people can't get to the airport seamlessly unless GDOT does an amazing job. And I want to thank you for all the work you do, that you've done and that you continue to do to make sure that the passengers that come to the airport are already in a good mood before they get there. That means a lot. So again, thank you very much for the invitation. I will leave you with the rest of your meeting, but I stand ready and available to any one of you anytime you have any issue or any need. I'm Hartsfield Jackson. So again, thank you so much for the invitation. Chairman, Stacy, I truly appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. We look forward to working with you.
Same here. Thank you.
This time, I'd like Kristen to do the roll call.
Yes, sir. I'll go back. Congressional District, District 1, Ms. Purcell. Present. 2, Ms. Williams. Here. 3, Mr. McIntyre.
Here.
4, Mr. Brown.
Present.
5, Ms. Key. Present. 6, Mr. Stoner. 7, Mr. Stein. 8, Mr. Golden.
Here.
9, Ms. Dunn. 10, Mr. Boswell.
Here.
11, Mr. Lewis.
Here.
12, Mr. Snipes.
Here.
13, Ms. Lemon. Here. And 14, Mr. Grappley.
Here.
We do have a quorum present.
Thank you very much. I'd like to ask for the board for approval of the minutes of the last meeting.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Mr. Shelby, are you with us? There he is. How are you today, sir?
Happy 2026, sir.
Yes, sir. It's a nice warm day.
Absolutely. So good morning, Commissioner, Chairman, members of the board. Today, I'm going to present the project that the department is proposing to advertise for the February 2026 letting. Before we present February, here are the current FY 2026 results. We have let a total of 182 projects. This chart shows the number of projects by improvement type. The value of these 182 projects is approximately $1.72 billion through the December 2025 bid awards. Of the 182 projects, 176 are GDOT let with an approximate value of $1.7 billion, and 6 are local let with an approximate value of $15 million. This chart shows a dollar amount distribution by improvement type, with roadway and maintenance projects making up the bulk of these improvements. Here are the results of the December 2025 letting. Of the 26 GDOT let contracts that were presented to the board, 25 were awarded and 1 was withdrawn. Now I'm going to discuss the projects in the February 2026 letting. We have a total of 21 projects. All are GDOT lets. The next 2 slides will list those 21 projects arranged by congressional district. So as you can see with this slide, we're letting a variety of projects throughout the state to address maintenance, bridge, capacity, and safety issues. The first highlighted project replaces the existing bridge on Grantham Road at Little McMillan Creek, which is in Wayne County, which is northeast of Jessup. The new structure will be a 130-foot long bridge with 2 standard travel lanes and shoulders. To complete the work, the bridge will need to be closed for construction. Traffic will be rerouted to an off-site detour for about 6 months. Overall, the construction is expected to take approximately 1 year, and the existing bridge that we're replacing was built in 1960, 66 years ago. Here's a ground view of that bridge to be replaced, along with some of the images of the deterioration. This next highlighted project focuses on improving the driving experience and roadway safety along State Route 219 in Troup County. The work will involve resurfacing approximately 11.6 miles of roadway, starting at the Harris County line and continuing to State Route 1. The goal is to extend the life of the pavement, provide a smoother ride for motorists, and reduce future maintenance needs. This next project aims to improve traffic flow and safety at a key intersection in Douglas County, which is 4 miles south of Douglasville. The plan includes building a four-legged hybrid roundabout connecting State Route 5, Banks Mill Road, and Pool Road. In addition, a new southbound left turn lane will be added on State Route 5 onto Big A Road to ease congestion. Dorset Shoals Road will intersect State Route 5 approximately 200 feet north of the roundabout. These improvements are designed to reduce delays, enhance safety, and support future growth in the area. This next project focuses on improving roadway safety at 11 locations across Crisp County. The work will include refreshing pavement striping, installing new signage, and adding raised pavement markers to enhance visibility and guidance for drivers. Altogether, these improvements will cover approximately 46.6 miles of roadway, which will help create safer travel conditions. This next project will also enhance safety at Clear Creek Road in Gilmer County. Improvements include updated pavement markings, signage, and other measures designed to make the roadway safer for drivers. The work will cover approximately 6.8 miles, helping to improve visibility and guidance for motorists in the area. This next project will resurface approximately 17 miles of State Route 53 in Oconee County. The work spans from State Route 8, which is also State Route 316 near Barrow County, and it goes to State Route 15, restoring the pavement to improve ride quality, safety, and durability. These improvements will help ensure smoother travel along this key corridor. All right, this next project is Phase 2 of the State Route 44 widening project in Greene County, which will improve approximately 3.74 miles of roadway from Cary Station Road to just south of King Drive. The project will expand State Route 44 to a 4-lane section with a 32-foot median and bike lanes on the paved shoulder. Key features include a new roundabout at Richland Connector, widening the existing bridge over Richland Creek, and replacing the box culvert over Little Creek with 2 new bridges. This phase builds on the previous improvements that are already starting and is a part of a 3-phase effort to enhance safety and mobility along State Route 44. So we have 21 projects proposed for the February 2026 letting, which all are GDOT lets. This chart shows the distribution by improvement types. The estimate of these projects in the February 2026 letting is approximately $104 million. This chart shows the dollar amount distribution by improvement type. Now I ask for your consideration for approval of the proposed projects presented for the February 2026 letting.
Thank you. Do I hear a motion for approval?
Second.
Is there a second? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Commissioner?
Good morning, Chairman Boswell, ladies and gentlemen of the board. Happy New Year.
Same to
Seems
you.
like the holidays were a long time ago.
Yeah.
We've been busy here at GDOT as always and hit the ground running this year, so we're excited to provide an update for you. And let me start by just acknowledging and appreciate Ricky Smith for being here, taking time away. He and I, as he said, we do have a mutual friend, so we hit the ground running with him in a partnership. And in fact, Janine Miller and myself have already met over at the airport with him already. And as you noticed, seeing if Paul came back, he sat down next to Paul Denard. I said, you sat next to the right person, with Paul being our district engineer for District 7. And they're doing a lot of work around the airport now that you might have noticed if you come in and out of the airport to put our best foot forward for World Cup. And just in general, that is the world entry to Atlanta and Georgia is the experience people have coming in and out of the airport because there are on state routes and interstates. So we always want to put our best foot forward, including if you go out through there, one of the projects that we've put in place that's underway now is replacing the interstate lighting with LED from those old mercury sodium type lights. As you will see, we're replacing all the lights on the interstates in Metro Atlanta with the LED lights, which are a lot better visibility, a lot less light pollution. So we're very excited about that. But Ricky and I, like I say, we've got to hit the ground running with each other. And when I met with him, I shared with him that I sort of had a bad experience due to some weather issues at Hartsville-Jackson, and at the end of the meeting, and he said, you know, I was stuck on the downtown connector the other day. And I said, touche. And so he's a savvy guy. Glad to have him working there. But it is a true partnership. We do work closely with the airports. We always have. They run the air side certainly, but it's just the interface that we work closely with them with. So really appreciate him being here this morning and taking time away. All right, let me jump into state fund collections for last month, closing out the calendar year. $210.7 million were collected, $192 million in excise, and about right at 18 to 19 million in transportation fees. That brings fiscal year to date number for collections to $1.3 billion. So 6 months, first 6 months of the fiscal year, $1.3 billion. 1.2 billion is excise and about 126 million in transportation fees. Albert just gave you a data point though. We have let $1.7 billion. But I remind you that our appropriations are already taken care of. What's collected this year gets appropriated into the next year. So, but that's a pretty cool thing to see. 6 months in, we've already bid $1.7 billion plus what you just approved to be bid today. Collections are tracking over $100 million further ahead than it was in the prior year to date. So that's a positive sign. Yesterday, you got an update from Josh and Angela about the federal situation with the federal budget. We're watching that closely. They gave you the intel yesterday. We did hear a rumor that something may move in the next week. Hopefully, that would be the case in a minibus. So we're going to watch that closely, and we'll keep you posted on what ramifications that absence of a continuing resolution or full budget year that Congress has on our program. So we'll keep you posted. From an employment figure, I'm proud to announce 4,054 full-time employees. We hired 50 employees in the month of December and only had 28 separate. So that is the positive side of the ledger that we want to be on. And so again, it takes key staff to advance everything that we do. And of course, our staff's the most important asset that we have. Our procurement report, for December, 124 contracts executed, valued at $76 million for professional services. And that brings our year-to-date contracts to this. Wow, over 1,002 contracts have been executed at $495 million, or you could round that to say that's almost $500 million of contracting and over 1,000 contracts. That's a lot of work from staff and consultants and engineers and, our vendors and everybody to put the work forth to get contracts executed and get the work done. Now, yesterday, there was a small announcement you might have heard that it's going to be cold today. But if you didn't hear that one, you might have heard the governor's eggs and issues comments yesterday, which was fantastic. It was an amazing day to have the governor put that out at Eggs and Issues, and later today at State of the State. I would guess that there may be some more conversation regarding additional revenue to our budget for this year, which is amazing. In fact, a little over $2 billion. And so I know Angela spoke yesterday about it. We actually have to wait for the budget to be delivered to us to get all the exact details, but I can just tell you some more details. Obviously, the biggest part of it, almost $1.8 billion, is going to advance the project to basically make I-75 express lanes there in Henry County 2 lanes in each direction. Because how many of you go to those express lanes and they're always going the wrong direction, right? Pretty much everybody, right? So the issue there is that traffic patterns have changed pretty significantly over time. Obviously, traffic has grown about 180,000 or more, almost 200,000 vehicles per day on that section of 75, very busy section of 75. Somewhere between 20 to 30% trucks, probably averages about 25% trucks. And so the traffic patterns where it used to be, heavy in the morning, dip in the middle of the day, and then heavy again in the afternoon, since COVID has really changed. It's, morning is picking back up, but it doesn't dip back down in the middle of the day anymore. And then everybody still goes home toward the end of the day, right? So we've had this anomaly and change in traffic patterns, which obviously makes it difficult to have a reversible express lane system work. And so this investment the governor generously put forth to us gives us the ability to advance a project to basically make it 2 lanes in each direction. And so we did use a little bit of previous state general fund money from the governor's previous budgets to advance some design and conceptual work to sort of understand what it will take to deliver the project. So there's a lot of work to still be done, but what this does is give us certainty now that we can advance this project. There's no need to design and work on something if you don't have a plan of finance to ever get it built. And so this gives us the money to move forward, and I actually spoke with the governor yesterday, and his words is, we didn't do this now, not sure it's going to get done anytime soon. So, and I agree with that because of the size, $1.8 billion, which is not the total project cost, by the way. We will provide more updates to you of sort of what ultimate project costs may be, but it is a partnership with the State Road and Tollway Authority, and there is a revenue stream there from tolls that exist. So we're going to work through all the plans of finance, the engineering. We're going to see what we can do to even enhance the corridor as well. So this gives us the ability to move forward. So there'll be more information coming to you over future board meetings, and we're just super excited to really advance this project. So it's going to be, again, a little bit of a journey. We've got to figure out the procurement type, how we do this, the partnership with the State Road and Tollway Authority, but the good news is this gives us the ability to move forward on something otherwise that we just would not be moving forward on. So, and making life better for all the Georgians that travel that corridor. And of course, how much freight moves in that corridor is very important. Another part of that announcement yesterday was State Route 316, which is that 40-some-odd mile corridor from I-85 in Gwinnett County all the way to Athens. It's State Route 10 loop. We've been working for years now to try to upgrade that corridor for safety, number one, in operations. The heavily traveled road with a lot of crashes on them. In fact, I think out of their top 100, there's probably 6 or 7 locations that are top 100 crash rate intersections on that corridor. And the continued growth that we're seeing in Gwinnett, Barrow, Oconee County is just unprecedented. So the $200 million will help us continue to the work we started, but help us continue to work toward completing that. I said work toward completing that to basically make it more like a freeway so that you don't have an intersection with traffic trying to cross over. There'll be interchanges, overpasses, some alternative intersections, but again, you eliminate the crossing traffic. So we're underway now, and if you've driven that corridor anytime soon, you can see there's so much construction on it. We're all underway, but the governor's additional $200 million is going to move us so much further to getting near completion. It makes me feel old because I actually physically worked on building the segment from Athens to out to Barrow County, and now we're upgrading it to an interchange or to like a freeway. So some sort of surreal when you work on something and it was not even a road there, and now we're upgrading it. So sort of full circle moment for me. That's an incredible investment that will make a huge difference in that part of the world. And then the other investment mentioned was rural bridges, rural and local bridges. You know, the governor's focus on the entire state and especially rural Georgia has been unprecedented. And acknowledging that agribusiness is our #1 economy and the timber industry is so vital to Georgia's economy, the $100 million is going to be a big investment to work on local rural bridges, not state highway bridges, but local rural bridges. And again, to keep our economy strong, and especially those load-posted, load-restricted projects, just like Albert showed you the picture earlier, that inhibits commerce because heavy loads cannot go across those bridges. So upgrading those bridges. So we'll be working and share with you ultimately a list of what those projects will be if they're in your districts, but they're going to be all around all around the state. So we're very, very excited about that. And again, for the third year in a row, and I just want to go back, put some context on this. For the third year in a row, GDOT's received state general fund money from the governor's budget and then supported by the House and the Senate for making sure that those dollars stay in transportation to do transportation improvements across the entire state. It's just been unprecedented. If you think about it, it was $1.5 billion the first year. Last budget year was a little over $1 billion, with, remember, $200 million toward maintenance due to Hurricane Helene cleanup. So big. By the way, we have not received our FEMA reimbursement. We've gotten about close to $50 million, not quite $50 million out of that. So that money was just critically important last year, that maintenance could continue to do what they had to do, and while we contracted and did all the debris cleanup that was impacted so much of the state. But for the third year in a row, state general fund investment to cities and counties through the Local Roads Administration Program. So this will, again, to cities and counties with no matching requirements. We administer it. Bill Wright and the local government, the local contract team, grants team, has done an amazing job of deploying those dollars very quick to cities and counties, getting that money out the door. So when you total all that up, it's tick above $2 billion, which is real money. Very impressive. We're very grateful for the governor putting that into the budget. That will absolutely make a difference in Georgians' lives across this entire state. So very exciting news. I'm sure more to come, and obviously we have a budget process to go through, and we'll get you more information, especially so that you can work back with your members of the House and the Senate about the information and how it may impact them. But on 75, look, it affects everybody in Georgia. If you live certainly south of Atlanta, it affects you, but it affects everybody. And so it's such a critical corridor. One of the top 100 freight bottlenecks, matter of fact, I think it's in the top 10 freight bottlenecks in the United States. That's not the list we want to be on, so this is going to help us uncork and move traffic much better. And the other complaint when you think about I-75 is when the express lanes are going in a direction, people say, well, the 75 normal lanes don't look congested. So why it's going the wrong direction? Well, when you add 2 more lanes, when you got 3 lanes, you add 2 more, that additional capacity frees up, again, the free lane, and which provides a benefit even if you're not using the express lane. So we look forward to partnering with the Toll Authority to develop that project and move it forward. And we have a lot more good news to share with you as we advance these programs of projects as we work through the budget year. So we'll keep you posted on that. All right, let me jump into just some of the construction projects we had opened up last month, which December is sort of hard to open projects up usually, but we got several done. As always, we'll start in Congressional District order, and we'll start in Congressional District 1 down in Wayne County, which is our GDOT District 5, and this consisted of 20 miles of milling and plant mix resurfacing on State Route 169, north of Sunset Boulevard to south of State Route 121 there in Wayne County. East Coast Asphalt was the contractor, finished up the first part of December. That 20 miles represented a $5.3 million investment. So glad to have that. And also you can see every investment we do is a safety investment. If you notice on the right side, you can see the rumble strips in that edge line, and you can see rumble strips, I believe, on the center line. My eyes are not that great, but again, adding safety features to the projects just when we do things. So glad to do that. Moving up into Congressional District 3 in Carroll County, which is GDOT District 6. This project consists of construction of the Villa Rica North Loop Bypass along Industrial Boulevard and Dallas Highway in Carroll County. It includes roundabouts and intersection at Industrial Boulevard and Rockmark Road in the intersection of Industrial Boulevard and Dallas Highway. So you can see some of those roundabouts at these major intersections on the Villa Rica North Loop Bypass. A very important project to that area. It's been a long time in coming. Astra Group LLC was the contractor. This represents a $42.5 million investment in this corridor. And it was really glad to have this project underway, making safety and operational benefits in Villa Rica. Also in Congressional District 3 in Fayette County, which is GDOT District 3, Project consisted of construction of a bridge and approaches on State Route 85 over the Whitewater Creek, and contractor is E.R. Snell Contractor. Opened to traffic on December 19th, so we put a bow on it, opened it right before Christmas. And it represents a $9.4 million capital construction investment to replace the bridge. Moving into Congressional District 11 in Gordon County, GDOT District 6. This is a bridge replacement project in the construction of actually two bridges and approaches on State Route 136 over the Coosawattee River in tributary in Nicholsville. They're in Gordon County. Tally Construction Company was the contractor. Finished up right before New Year's Day, the end of the month, $11 million bridge investment there on State Route 136. So glad to have that project done. Moving into Congressional District 14 up in Floyd County, again, a GDOT District 6 project. District 6 got a lot of things open this month, didn't they? Or last month. They're doing great. The bridge replacement project consists of construction of the bridge and approaches on State Route 293 over Docks Creek. C.W. Matthews Contracting Company was the contractor. Opened to traffic on December 5th. Represents a $12 million project to replace that bridge and widen it and upgrade it with safer shoulders. So this project was opened right on schedule, so glad to have that done. Again, another good bridge investment there, keep our roads, our bridges safe and sound. Let me now move into some things that have been going on here in the department. Again, this month we've hit the ground running, so just to share with you a few things. In fact, this week was the Transportation Research Board, or TRB as we call it. They have their annual meeting, which is held annually in Washington, D.C. The Transportation Research Board is part of the National Academy of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine, and it provides leadership in transportation improvements and innovation through evidence-based information exchange, research, and advice regarding all modes of transportation. So this is like where all the research is being done across the nation, and in fact the world, because it is an international conference, about all the things that are going on relating to transportation in all modes. So it's always fascinating to see. They have the poster sessions like you've seen we've done here, but they have a whole ballroom full of poster sessions, of posters of research that universities and graduate students are working on, and it's fascinating to see the depth of the things that are going on. To give you some sense, there's somewhere between 11,000 and 12,000 people attend this annual meeting. There were 750 sessions. I have to admit, I did not make 750 sessions. 5,000 presenters on transportation topics, policymakers, administrators, practitioners, researchers, representatives from government. We traditionally have a strong presence at the annual meeting. Again, actually, this is federally funded for us to be able to attend and take care of this. It's really awesome to see our staff that are so engaged. They're on many of these committees, and most of our staff are presenters on these committees, and these committees work all year long. It's not you show up to an annual meeting and participate. You're doing work and research and partnering, and it's really neat to see our staff be so engaged and to see what acknowledgement I get from the great work our staff does for working on these committees. So it's always rewarding to see that. I was able to participate in several of the larger AASHTO-sponsored events. I moderated a panel on our transportation reauthorization and focused on project delivery and safety with some of my counterparts from around the nation. Very honored to do that. Mark Williams, the Texas DOT Commissioner, who's the Vice President of AASHTO, and I was on a panel with ITS America talking about workforce and trying to build a culture of innovation in our agencies. And then finally, I was very honored to be a part of a panel discussion as part of the Office of the Secretary's Transportation's research arm. Again, this is all research. So they have the OSTR, as it's called. Their assistant secretary waiting confirmation is, her name is Saval Oz, a fascinating, brilliant mind, worked at Google X, worked on self-driving cars for a long time, what ultimately became Waymo. And so she's leading that OSTR now. but she provided a keynote, and then I was on a panel with a US DOT policy advisor, a gentleman that has a tremendous freight logistics background that works now at OSTR as well. My counterpart, again, Mark Williams from Texas DOT. Texas has a lot of freight, just like we do, so we were focused on about connected and autonomous movement of vehicles, and especially freight focus. So we had a robust panel. The bottom right, you can sort of see it's a big ballroom. There was probably 300, 400 people there. So a great opportunity to, one, just engage with USDOT at that level, and very honored for Mark and I to be on that panel with them talking about the future of technology. As you know, we've done a lot with our connected vehicle technology that you've experienced, and so we're getting some positive attention for the investments that we've made already in leaning forward where technology can drive us ahead. So that was TRB. Again, we had a lot of people, a lot of our staff there. Some of them are still on their way back today. It ends today. And so again, we want to engage at the highest level so that we're trying to lead in transportation, not only for Georgia, but for the nation. Also, last week was interesting. Here's all the names of our people that are engaged at TRB. You can see it's a big list. And again, they're not just going to attend something. They are part of committees doing work all year long. And it's a high honor to be on a committee, by the way. So you can see what a great team we have there. More pictures, I'm sorry. So a little bit of a few takeaways there. And bottom left is, on the right is, bottom left, right of the picture is Assistant Secretary Saval Oz and the panel that we were on. But great time, great opportunity, and really appreciate Transportation Research Board for what they do. All right, week before last was this small event called the Consumer Electronics Show. Again, had really a privilege to represent AASHTO, to attend that meeting, that conference, with a focus with transportation. So we're able to basically be with the administrators there on the right. You see administrator for NHTSA, you see the Federal Highway Administrator, you see the Federal Motor Carrier Compliance Safety Administrator, the three gentlemen in the middle. The two people on each end are part of the Consumer Electronics Show staff. But to be with them on some panels, and then also to tour the floor as it relates to technology in transportation, which they had a whole conference center, one of their conference centers, sort of like Georgia World Congress Center or ABC, one of their whole, and I can't remember which one it was all about transportation technology. Everything you can imagine, from Waymo to construction equipment, and obviously the common theme is what? AI. So if transportation research is not big enough at 11 to 12,000 people, there's only 180,000 people at CES, so it's a big event. But very honored, again, to be able to be part and to be with USDOT folks as we look about the future of transportation technology. Now, we're going to move away from tech and research into a very important topic in this. There's more. I should look at the slides before I present. But it's like the family slideshow, the family vacation slideshow. We did have a great opportunity to meet with a company called The Boring Company. That doesn't sound very exciting, does it? But The Boring Company is what you see, boring tunnels under Las Vegas. It's actually a company founded by Elon Musk. And so we had a tour with The Boring Company, and we're able to ride, and basically on the picture on the right, they run Teslas that humans drive through the tunnels under the convention center. And so it's such a walk. You can't walk from the convention center is so big, and same thing at World Congress Center. If you're in C and you need to go to A, it's like you're walking a long way. So they actually have several miles, close to 4 miles of tunnels in operation now that you simply download a QR code, you pay, it's a very reasonable fare, it's cheap or cheaper than a ride share, and you hop in a Tesla and they carry you from wherever you want to go. And what's sort of neat about it is you see these stations on the right side as you come out of the tunnel to a station, the Tesla just sort of pulls over and parks and you get in and out. But if you need to go from station 1 to station 3, you don't stop at station 2, you just go through station 2. Unlike a subway train that has to stop at every station. So you're able to bypass, and so it's an amazing experience. It's neat to see the innovation that the Boring Company is doing, and seeing all the work that they're doing, and they're actually expanding. The authority there in Las Vegas has given them permission to expand to about 68 miles, all under Las Vegas. And so it was fascinating to see how they've really innovated and changed tunneling technology and accelerated what's usually a very complex problem. So interesting to see. Just as a side note, the Boring Company is working with Tennessee and Tennessee DOT to build a tunnel from their airport into downtown Nashville. So it's sort of interesting to see this technology. But again, emerging technology, things that are in what seem like far away, that are now in the art of the possible. Very good. All right, now, I'm going to click this slide and hope that this is my next topic, because it's very different than technology, but very important, and that's it. It's Human Trafficking Prevention Month in January. Human trafficking ranks as one of the world's largest criminal enterprises. It's a brutal and illegal operation that generates billions of dollars each year by exploiting human beings, sadly both adults and children. Victims of human trafficking suffer physical, emotional, and psychological abuse daily at the hands of their traffickers, who basically profit from that abuse, either financially or other ways, taking away people's control. So why we talk about that? Well, in fact, human trafficking happens largely on the nation's transportation networks, whether it's roadways, airports, train stations, waterways. There's victims being moved between cities every day. And because of that, we feel like we have an obligation as GDOT, as our mission for keeping the public safe. We think that applies to all forms of safety. So we've been working throughout this month and really year-round to raise awareness of this issue about human trafficking and how to deal with that. We really aim to educate our employees and also the traveling public so they can recognize the signs of human trafficking, which is suspicious behavior, and then we can respond safely and appropriately to try to address those that may be in danger. The department's been long committed to helping and ending human traffic, again, through the training of our employees to recognize the warning signs and implementing correction action and if you're encountering that you think somebody's being trafficked. At new employee orientation, we actually provide every employee a training about this to, again, provide it through the Georgia Department of Administrative Services of how to identify and report suspected trafficking. So that's something we do as we onboard every employee. But additionally, we play a role in educating the public through our communications campaigns and information materials that we have at our Georgia Welcome Centers and rest areas. Again, we're trying to get this out to the public where things are actually happening. In one of our public awareness campaigns, in employee education programs around human trafficking are guided by an alliance with the Grace Commission in support from the governor and First Lady Marty Kemp. And the First Lady has been dug in on this and been a pillar of one of her things that she has championed since day one. The Georgians for Refuge, Action, Compassion, and Education Commission, or GRACE, was created to combat the threat of human trafficking here in the state of Georgia. Organization has been instrumental in helping seek justice for victims and holding bad actors accountable throughout Georgia. And about 6 years ago, GDOT started and worked very closely with the GRACE Commission and the Department of Administrative Services to develop this campaign materials to help fight human trafficking. For Human Trafficking Awareness Month, this month, GDOT is stepping up those efforts by conducting focused communications campaign designed to educate the traveling public with the signs of human trafficking and how to respond, more importantly. The campaign includes a dedicated GDOT website, educational videos, an article that's going to be posted in Georgia's Extra Mile blog, social media content, and as always, our partnership with the Georgia Association of Broadcasters, or GAB. The relationship with Georgia Association of Broadcasters allows GDOT to access airtime on local TV and radio stations through 30-second PSAs. Throughout January, we've been working with Georgia Association of Broadcasters to use airtime to promote awareness about human trafficking. As an example of that messaging, I'd like to show you a 30-second PSA that's currently playing on local stations.
Isn't just happening.
Can you guys go back and get the audio working?
Knowing the signs can make a difference. The Georgia Department of Transportation is committed to helping our employees and motorists recognize suspicious activity on our roads. Report suspected trafficking by calling the Georgia Human Trafficking 24-hour hotline at 866-363-4842. Together, let's end the crime of human trafficking in Georgia.
Certainly appreciate what Communications has done, again, partner with the Georgia Association of Broadcasting. Very important efforts. And another aspect of our outreach is this month is to have a conversation with a subject matter expert on our podcast, Ahead of the Curve, with Susan Norris. Susan is a member of the Grace Commission and founder and executive director of Rescuing Hope, which is a nonprofit with a mission of enlightening the public about human trafficking in America, educating potential victims and first responders, and empowering advocates and survivors. We expect to publish the podcast episode this week, and we're grateful for Susan for her expertise and for giving her time to appear on our podcast. Led by the governor and first lady, the state of Georgia is aggressively fighting human trafficking through a collaboration with law enforcement, state agencies, faith institutions, and subject matter experts just like Susan. So we really can't do this alone, and we're not the experts, but we certainly rely on these experts to help us. There may be some kind of small way that GDOT can play a positive role to eliminate human trafficking in Georgia. So I really appreciate what Scott Higley is doing. He's actually, he has been voluntold to work on this at the national level, and the communications team, and for him championing the work that's being done in this very important initiative. And so I do recall, probably was 6 years ago, the First Lady and I both attended a workshop at USDOT back then. And so this has been, again, effort that we've been doing. But this is Wear Blue Month, and for your awareness. So thank you for listening to that very important update. Let me provide you another important update. There's this little thing coming up we've talked to you about for months and months now called FIFA World Cup 2026. And last month we gave you some of our preparations, but as we continue to gear up, there's still a lot of effort going on. Just this past week, there was an event between 5 cities in South Fulton to develop planning for the events, including all the stakeholders, the Atlanta Sports Council, City of Atlanta, MARTA, ATL, GDOT. We're all part of that. Really, again, focused on trying to be ready and sharing information. A big part of the presentations big part of the conversation was making the preparations for the region to include effective communications between relevant agencies. Very importantly, we had Natalie Dell to be a representative from our Office of Strategic Communications, joined with a group of the other communication professionals and PIOs from various agencies to work together on messaging, common messaging. How do we message? Again, we have international visitors here, and how you message may be a little different from how we're traditionally messaging. So again, a great partnership with the city, MARTA, Georgia World Congress Center, Atlanta Fire and PD, and the team over at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, all making sure that we're speaking the same language, if you will, as we move forward. So very important. Planning snapshot included basically public safety and emergency response. We know that security and safety is number one in any large event, and we like to support what we can there for law enforcement and our public safety agencies. Stadium and perimeter operations and transportation, just understanding how everything works. And then obviously there's a huge component of tourism and citywide activations, especially around hospitality, right? We're going to put our best foot forward and roll out the red carpet for the world to come here. So really just keeping updated. There's a lot going on. You can read on the slide there some of the activities we have going on. And part of that implementation relies on our heroes, right? We know what a critical role our heroes play. And so it's always nice to just share some positive feedback we get. And this one's sort of special because it came from a former DeKalb County police officer who understands the dangers of roadways. Now, I'm going to read a little bit of this to you. You got it in front of you there. Said that, well, I had a new experience tonight. I had the misfortune to strike an object on 285 in fairly heavily traffic at 10 o'clock. It was 2,200 hours, by the way. Didn't know what it was in the road, but it blew out my front left tire. I got across 2 adjacent lanes into the emergency lane where I stopped. Being dark and fairly heavy traffic, I did not feel safe changing the tire next to the traffic lane, so I called 511. The operator said somebody should be there shortly. In less than 19 minutes, help arrived, and after I got the kit out to lower the spare from the rear of the truck, the hero operator had my tire changed and ready for me to continue in short order. I asked if there was a charge. He said, no, sir, this is a free service. I asked, could I tip him? He said, no, sir, we're not allowed to accept tips. You're ready to go. Have a good night. I'm sorry I didn't get his name, because I felt like tonight that he was a lifesaver. I'm impressed with the Georgia Hero units. And so this comment basically encapsulates everything that we're trying to accomplish with both Hero and Champ programs by providing exceptional customer service to our citizens when in time of need. And they do this every day, 24/7. So when it's cold outside, we joke about it being cold in here. They're out helping people this morning in inclement weather. So just like to pass that along, and let me just transition for inclement weather. We are watching closely what may transpire over Saturday night into Sunday, and we have calls with weather service today. We'll have a internal call, all hands call this afternoon, knowing that how we prepare and be ready should we have inclement weather coming up. So with that, Mr. Chairman, that concludes my report. I'd be glad to entertain any questions or comments.
Have any questions? Excuse me.
So what's the likelihood that we're gonna see something? What are they saying?
Don't know yet. We have a weather briefing at 10, I believe, 10:30, and another one with the weather service. So we'll have a little more intel. But as I was informed, the models are now aligning that there could be something.
Ms.
I
Williams?
have a question about, one of the governor's, I guess, projects that he stipulated, I think he said was 316 from Gwinnett into Athens, and you called it a freeway. Is that a different standard than an interstate?
It would be similar to an interstate.
Similar.
Similar.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Commissioner, don't sit down just yet. I'd like to take this opportunity to inform the board members who may not be aware that our commissioner was recently honored by Governor Kemp with a commendation recognizing his many achievements for the state and for his appointment as AASHTO president. I understand he was lured to the Capitol under false pretenses.
That is true.
And when he arrived, he was surprised to find his wife, Michelle, and his family there waiting for him. I hear it was a complete surprise and quite an honor for Commissioner McMurray. And of course, we on the board have always known the tremendous positive impact that the commissioner has on the state, this department, and every member of the team here at GDOT. So I thought it would be appropriate this morning to read the wording of the commendation so we can hear all the praise the commissioner has received. It reads like this. By the governor of the state of Georgia, a commendation. Whereas Russell McMurray serves as commissioner for the Georgia Department of Transportation, leading a department with an operating budget of over $4.5 billion and a staff of nearly 4,000, focusing on innovation, safety, sustainability, and mobility for Georgia. And whereas Commissioner McMurray began his career with the department in 1990 as an engineer and intern, and has led the 10th largest state Department of Transportation as commissioner since 2015. Whereas Commissioner McMurray has consistently shown steadfast leadership in guiding GDOT with a commitment to public service that shines in his clear and open communication with stakeholders, local communities, and partnering government entities, advancing transparency and trust in GDOT's work. And whereas Commissioner McMurray actively serves on several state and national boards, including serving as president of the American Association State Highway and Transportation Officials, and on the executive committee of the Transportation Research Board. And whereas Commissioner McMurray has earned the admiration and the appreciation of colleagues, Georgia citizens, and the wider transportation sector, setting a high bar for public leadership, earning numerous accolades, including Georgia Trend's 2018 Georgian of the Year, and is the first State Department of Transportation leader to be honored with the ITS Lifetime Achievement Award for his leadership in deploying intelligent transportation systems across Georgia. Now, therefore, I, Brian P. Kemp, Governor of the State of Georgia, do hereby commend Russell McMurray, in witness thereof I have unto set my hand and caused the seal to be affixed to the 20th day of November in the year of our Lord 2025. Signed, Governor Kemp. Thank you, Mr. McMurray.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's now 2 surprises. You can ask Angela and Andrew and Meg and Josh and everybody else. I said, look, we live in a world of no surprises. I don't like being surprised. This was a true honor from the governor. My middle son couldn't be there, but he's away in med school. But it was quite a surprise. I got hoodwinked for sure, but really appreciate your recognition. But listen, look, it's everybody, those 4,000 people that make this possible. I don't do it.
Absolutely, I understand that.
You know I don't do it. So I just want to commend them for what they do and for making us look so good. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you for making us look good. Thank you very much. All right, now, committee reports, Legislative Committee, Dan Snipes.
Yes, sir. Legislative Committee Board President, myself, Bradley, McIntyre, Lewis, Mr. Golden, Mr. Oswald, with Kathy, Ms. Williams, and by telephone. Joshua Waller, Director of Policy and Government Affairs, provided a state and federal legislative update. The Georgia General Assembly convened the 2026 legislative session on Monday with the House and Senate establishing March 6th as crossover day and April 2nd as sine die. Additionally, Josh highlighted legislators who have recently been elected to fill vacancies, including the vacancy in House District 23 due to the passing of Representative and Chairperson Mandy Ballinger. Josh concluded with a federal funding reminder that the current continuing resolution for the fiscal year 2026 appropriations will expire on January 30th. No actions were taken by this committee, and the committee adjourned at 1:35 p.m. This concludes my report.
Thank you, sir. Next, Ann Purcell.
The Finance Committee convened January the 14th at 1:36 p.m., and our board members present, including myself, was McIntyre, Golden, Boswell, Lewis, Snipes, Gravely, and Ms. Williams by phone. Our first order of business, Angela Whitworth, who is our treasurer, presented a recap of the fiscal year budget 2026 due to the governor's fiscal amended budget of 26 and the fiscal year 27 numbers were not being released to this date that we were going over this information. She highlighted that the FY 2026 budget had previously increased by $294,029,696. This reflects an increase of $274,976,802 in excise funds and $9,786,000 $656,617 increase in transportation trust funds, with that being $5,596,284 in transit funds and an increase of $3,800,893 in state general funds. The fiscal year 2026 budget reflects a final increase of $2,797,870,083. She also commented on the $2.35 billion that the governor discussed at the Eggs and Issues, as well as the upcoming joint appropriation hearing on January the 20th, and the current federal funding situation with a continuing resolution expiring at the end of January. There was no committee action. Our committee adjourned at 1:44 p.m. And, Mr. Chairman, this concludes my report.
Thank you, Ms. Purcell. Mr. Lewis, the Program Delivery Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Program Delivery Committee convened on January 14, 2026 at 1:45 p.m. Members present included myself as chair, Snipes, McIntyre, Golden, Purcell, Boswell, and Williams by phone. First order of business, Kimberly Nesbitt, State Program Delivery Administrator, gave a presentation on the functions of the Office of Program Delivery and the large encroachment permit process. The Office of Program Delivery is responsible for managing the design, bid, build program along with the local administrative program for the department. The large encroachment permit process is 100% funded with local or private development. The Georgia Department of Transportation is responsible for oversight delivery of these projects using a streamlined delivery process that will ensure a shorter project delivery time than is normally achieved using the federal and state process. Second order of business, Brian Lott, GDOT Office of Program, District 6 Program Manager, provided an update on the State Route 5 corridor, which included the status of multiple individual projects with project limits extending from State Route 515 in Blue Ridge to State Route 60 in McKaysville, including the new location McKaysville Truck Route. He stated the overall needed purpose for the projects, which is to improve congestion and reduce crash frequency and severity, while accommodating future growth and development in the region. Additionally, he highlighted the robust past and current public outreach efforts for the projects, which included coordination with property owners, developers, county, and city representatives. Specifically, Brian presented the status of each improvement project, which was either under construction or in design. No actions were taken in this committee. The committee adjourned at 2:10 p.m., and this concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Now read the Committee of the Whole. The Committee of the Whole convened on January 14th, 2026 at 2:11 p.m. Board members present included myself, Dennis McIntyre, Tim Golden, Ann Purcell, Stacy Key, Jeff Lewis, Dan Snipes, Dana Lemon, and Kathy Williams by telephone. First order of business, Grant Waltrip, District Engineer for Northeast West Georgia, presented a comprehensive update on District 6. He noted that the district includes nearly 1.4 million residents, with some counties seeing a 10% growth in just 4 years. The update included accomplishments in administration, pre-construction, construction, maintenance, utilities, and traffic operations. Major projects highlighted were the State Route 20 in Cherokee County, Old Alabama Road in Bartow County, Villa Rica North Loop Bypass in Carroll County, State Route 5 in Fannin County, and State Route 92 in Paulding County. Mr. Waltrip also detailed the district's leadership in safety innovation. Most notably, he shared results from the Q protection pilot on I-24, which resulted in 0 incidents in the work zone. He also provided an overview of the district's aggressive roundabout program, where 13 new roundabouts have been opened to traffic in the last 2 years, with 49 more currently in the pipeline. No actions were taken in this committee. The committee adjourned at 2:40 p.m., and this concludes my report. Anything else to come before the committee today?
Mr. Chairman, I have a point of personal privilege, please. for new business.
Yes, ma'am.
I want to take a moment to wish my sorors of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated Happy Founders Day. For those of you who don't know, 118 years ago, on the campus of Howard University, we became the first sorority established for college-educated black women to be of service to all mankind. I'm a proud 35-year member of that organization. Today, we celebrate 118 years of sisterhood and service. And I just want to wish Ms. Key and other members of this department who are also women of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority a very happy Founders Day. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Anything else? If not, we stand adjourned.